Ladies and gentlemen, Shadow's here. This is Shadow Shoot Shadow. We're going to bring it to you live. We're going to be bringing it to you recorded. We're going to be bringing it to you all kinds of ways. What we're about to do is something that people have been asking for some time now, and the Shadow has decided to just go ahead and jump in. We were setting things up for last several months, and the Shadow Knows Network has been just building and building and growing and growing. And so what we've been building towards is this right here. You've got the Pixel Plastics and Inks just taking off, skyrocketing, going crazy. Shadow doing his toy hunts, and you got the Tech Master doing his things and his takes on wrestling and stuff. So we've got a lot of cool things going on the Shadow Knows Network. So Shadow decided to just go ahead and jump in to the swing of things and into the fire and stuff, because especially it's WrestleMania season. So with that being said, we're going to jump right into things. But before we jump into the WrestleMania stuff, I just want to give you guys a little bit of background. Those of you that know the Shadow knows who I am. I spent 10 plus years as a professional wrestler, transitioned into talk radio when I started the show Square Circle Talk on Professional Wrestling on KIEV Los Angeles, AM, what is that, AM 810, I believe, or 870, with and I used to come on Saturdays right after George Putnam. A lot of people in radio do know who George Putnam is, but he was a legend in radio, and it was a privilege to start off my career in radio behind George Putnam. Eventually got heard by Mr. Michael Horn from CRN, Cable Radio Network. Michael Horn asked me to come in and fill in on a radio show, and then I filled in. It went in from a fill-in to a 1 hour show to a 2 hour show weekly, and that's where Square Circle Talk on Professional Wrestling went nationwide. So we expanded, we moved into things, and we started to do one very simple thing, and that is be the voice for the professional wrestling fans. A perspective from me, a retired professional wrestler. Spent 9-10 years in the wrestling independent circuit. Wrestled some cool shows. I wrestled some not so cool shows and stuff. Got paid no money, got paid little money, but I dug in deep. Trained by the legendary Mondo Guerrero from the famous Guerrero family. Went on the circuits, worked with Empire. Excuse me. I worked with Empire Wrestling. Bill Anderson, Jesse Hernandez. Jesse Hernandez was fantastic, helping me along in my career. He played a really big part in a lot of things that I've done, and that kind of influence on a lot of the things that I talked about in wrestling, along with Mondo Guerrero. And then along the experience of working with a lot of cool people. We did some promotions with WCW back in the day. We've interviewed some of the best in the business. I had the privilege of introducing the legend Bret Hart at the Hollywood Museum for his movie Wrestling with Shadows, which was a fantastic moment in my career. Was able to walk Macho Man down at Bash at the Beach, down not towards ringside, but down towards ringside at Bash at the Beach. Did some promotional things with Hulk Hogan and all other kinds of stuff. We've interviewed some great guys and had some great interviews. We've got archives laid out somewhere, but that's the summation of like a little snippet of what the Shadow has done and where the Shadow is at and stuff. The Mr. Storm, longtime friend, longtime partner, here doing his thing, man. He's going to roll with me, and we're going to try to just lay things out and stuff. He's going to keep the pace up, because the Shadow can rant on for a while and stuff. So I'm going to try not to, but and we're looking to do some really cool things. We're going to be bringing on some independent wrestlers, because what we want to focus on is guys that have wrestled in the industry, guys that have put their lives and their bodies on the line in the ring, that can give you their perspective on what the source or the course of wrestling is right now. There's a difference when you've got other guys in the industry that have done podcasts and are doing podcasts, and they give their opinions, and guys that were big stars and guys that are nobodies, and a lot of fanboy shows. And I will take this as a credit, and take it as you want to take it. But this was back in the 80s when I did the radio. And in the 80s, where there was no other radio, there were no podcasts, there were no streaming networks or anything else like that. There was only CRN, the Cable Radio Network. Shadow started it off. And then from there, I've gotten a lot of letters. I've gotten a lot of emails and messages from people that says, Shadow, because of you, I started my podcast show. And Shadow, because of you, I still love wrestling today. And there'll be some guys that tune in now that are used to watch the Shadow or used to tune into the Shadow show will now come back on and see that the Shadow's back. So I'm looking forward to that. And just saying that to say is that everyone has their own style of doing things, but we're going to do things a little bit different. We're going to do things different from what most people do and stuff. And we're past the point of kayfabe. So you're not going to hear me talking about like, oh, I can't tell you that because I have to kill you or something like that. But I will just keep it 100. That's what the Shadow's always done. And I think that was one of the claims to fame of what the show did, the talk on professional wrestling. So, and saying all that, I think we need to just jump into what's going on in the world of professional wrestling in WrestleMania week, huh, Mr. Storm?
I think so, brother. And I think that the one main thing, the reason why we wanted to bring the shoot shot back is because you are the originator. And we want people to understand that, you're going to get a perspective that no one else can actually come through, but somebody that's been in the ring, that's taken the bumps, that's taken the knocks. And, I've got some emails from some people. So I'm going to be reading that off to you later in the show today, asking you questions, want to know what it's like to have been in the ring, to do some things. So we've got that. But like you said, the main part of this is we're going to get your perspective on WrestleMania. So I know, look, we've all been excited about what's happening with WrestleMania the last couple of weeks. Look, the Tech Master has been tearing it up with his stuff, and he's been doing his countdown. But now we want to hear from the Shadow. So let me know what's your thoughts on WrestleMania upcoming. What's the most exciting match you think that's going to happen at WrestleMania, brother?
Well, I got to start and say that like this, as they always say every year, this is the biggest WrestleMania of all times. This is the biggest WrestleMania of all times. I don't see a card as big as this since the Shawn Michaels and Undertaker card. I think it was, I can't remember the entire card, but Shawn Michaels and Undertaker card. And we played a big part in that particular card because we were saying what the fans wanted. And the WWE heard and listened because Vince used to listen to the show. And they delivered. They delivered a fantastic WrestleMania. But this WrestleMania, oh my goodness. Now, I just looking at the card in itself, it's like you got night one, Saturday, this coming Saturday, you got The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. That's the biggest card. That's the biggest matchup that night or Saturday night. And I will say there's a lot of speculations. There's a lot of questions that everybody wants answered. And there's a lot of things that we all can try to predict. But at this moment, this is probably one of the biggest moments where you don't know what's going to happen. You have no idea what the outcome is. And it's been said that even Triple H has changed the outcome multiple times, has changed the match setup multiple times. So we're in for a big treat and a big surprise. But I honestly, my opinion, The Rock and Roman goes over big time. They win this match and they set the rules, and it's what do you call it, rules? What did they call it? What is the group called?
I think anything goes or something.
Yeah, it's a tribal rule. Basically, anything goes, and that sets the table for like the stakes are higher for Cody Rhodes. Now, the only thing I say is that they should have set some rules for Seth Rollins as well, or maybe Drew McIntyre could have set some rules or whatever stuff, but neither here nor there. Cody Rhodes is going to have to, the stakes are going to be higher. Will he win? What will happen on the next night? But it's going to be a tremendous match. It's going to be an exciting match. Seeing The Rock get into the ring, I know he's going to do minimal, but I think when he does get into the ring, he's going to do great things. I mean, the guy's over 50 years old right now. So it's like, don't expect him to wrestle for 15, 20 minutes. Expect him to get a hot tag, beat on Cody, tag back out. Roman does most of the work. So that's going to be a great match, a fantastic match in itself. For the women's WWE Women's Championship, Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is at the pinnacle of her career. Becky Lynch has done it all, and she will go down in the Hall of Fame WWE. And I think that this match itself is the seal, it's the period at the end of the sentence to set Rhea Ripley up as one of the greatest women champion of all times, and that is Rhea Ripley needs to go over.
So you believe that Ripley's going over this time?
She has to. I mean, like, I don't see, there's no reason why Becky Lynch needs to go over.
Mm-hmm.
Rhea Ripley has to go over because it's setting up for the next set of talents that she'll be facing down the line. So her being a strong champion is beating Becky Lynch 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring, and I expect it to be a tremendous match and stuff. So that should be interesting to see if they do it. Now here's the question mark match: the
Okay.
Intercontinental Championship, Gunther versus Sami Zayn. Gunther has proven to everyone that he is one of the toughest guys in WWE right now. And Sami Zayn is that guy that, you root for him. He's the underdog.
Mm-hmm.
You want him to win. And I think that this is one of the beautiful things about the WWE is that their production packaging and storytelling has been fantastic. I think with the new transition and the people involved, that the production level is on the next level. Sami Zayn's promo package, and just his training and everything else and his promos and everything that's leading up to this makes you want to root for him some more. So I think that Gunther and Sami Zayn match will be a tremendous match, should be a 5-star match as well. And Gunther, I just hope he doesn't chop the skin off of Sami Zayn before the match is over.
Now, let me ask you something, getting back to what you just said with actually the new transition and everything. Do you think that because of the new transition that's came in by TKO, do you think that if it was still under McMahon, we would not see the same level of ramp up, or do you think that it's just a seamless transition between the two?
I think that there's order in WWE now, order that has not been, I don't think it has ever been, because Vince McMahon decides everything, and at any moment he can change everything. There's a difference between him and Triple H. Triple H lays out a clear plan and he executes that plan, and he delivers that when you see it on TV, where storyline's going and how it ends, versus you see something that happens, you say why. And one of the biggest things with McMahon is this, is he was old school, so it was never about like giving the fans exactly what they want. It was more about giving the fans what they want, but then making them want more by not giving them what they want in the ending. And I think that has been one of the biggest problems with WWE. When you see a guy and he's at a pinnacle and you want him to be champion, you want him to be over or something like that, then all of a sudden you don't get that end result and you're pissed off. And that kind of tanks a lot of people's careers, 100%. But I will say this, we'll go into it further, but I think one of the key things is that what most fans don't understand is that there was a theme that Dusty Rhodes had back in his era when he was Booker. And it was always about the baby face chasing the heel for the title. And the baby face may eventually win the title, but he chased it. And we'll get into that later about him and Ric Flair and how he chased the title and similarities with his son now. But the next match on the list for Saturday night is Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso. This is the thing. Look, I don't like when siblings fight, when they make them fight. When Vince McMahon did it, I think he did it to the extreme to where at the end of the day, there was like real personal friction between the two involved. But on this instance, it's different. Jimmy and Jay want to wrestle each other. Their dream has been to wrestle each other at WrestleMania. So mind you this, these guys are going to try to tear the house down. You're going to see some high spot that's going to just blow you away. I'm sure that they're going to try to limit them and say, listen, we got other things over here on the card that needs to have these high spots. So we don't want all of these high spots, but we're going to see some high spot stuff on that match. Jumping from the top turn post into the crowd or some kind of craziness. Jimmy and Jay are going to try to tear the house down. I believe that when you got Gunther and Sami Zayn, and then you got Jimmy and Jay, these two matches, these guys are they're both going to be like, we're going to get a 5-star. And then the other ones we're going to get a 5-star. So it's going to be an awesome match.
So what you're saying is those are probably two of the most sleeper best like matches. Those are the ones that you don't want to get up. You don't want to miss those two.
No, that's not a bathroom break match. No.
Okay.
This is not the one. That's
so if there is a bathroom break one, what is it, man?
Well, that one's coming up. I'm gonna
Okay.
both nights have them. But before that, we got the 6-man tag match, or 16 tag match, which you got. Let's see, Damian Priest, Finn Balor, tag team champions, unified tag champions. You got Awesome Truth, which is the Miz and R-Truth, DY, Johnny Gargano, and Cesaro Ciampa. New Day, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods, and then New Match Republic, the New Catch Republic, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bates. Oh, they're from NXT. So they added NXT guys. A-Town, which is A-Town under Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. Look, it's the tag match. It's a lot going on. It's probably a time filler if they need to, or they'll cut it short if they're running out of time. And I will just say and this is for the unified tag team champions, but both titles are going to be hanging from the rafters, so the pickup from the ladder. So you're going to have the tag team titles separated. So which is a cool thing because SmackDown will have their tag titles and you all have their tag titles. My own opinion is that R-Truth and The Miz need to win because R-Truth is like in the top 5 of selling merchandise. Everybody freaking loves him. The guy's 50-something years old. This is his last run. So let R-Truth and The Miz, who has been busting his butt for decades, they deserve a tag team title run, one last run. And then as far as the second one to win the titles, honestly, I think that the team that needs it more than anyone else is Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. Theory has been in limbo since last WrestleMania. He beat John Cena, and then that was it. He was just shuffling around, floating in limbo. Him and Waller have been together, cool and all that, but I think if you put the titles on them, it'll put some attention on him again, and then maybe you can build. Because I think he has a lot of potential. He's a Vince McMahon guy, and everybody felt like he was shoved down our throats. But here's the thing. John Cena was shoved down our throats.
True.
Look at him now. Roman Reigns was shoved down our throats. Look at him now. Austin Theory has the talent and the capability of being one of the biggest superstars in WWE. You just got to build them up some more. So my expectation is those two teams should win those titles. And realistically, Damian Priest, Finn Balor, done with them as tag team titles. Damian Priest has got the money in the bank, and what are we waiting for? Him to cash it in. So
exactly.
And then you got the female title, a female 6-man match. You got Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Jade Cargill.
Wow.
Damage Control, which is Dakota Kai, Asuka, and Kari Singh. Kari Singh's crazy. She's skinny and she's crazy. That chick, every time I see her wrestle, I'm like, is she gonna get hurt or is someone gonna get hurt? But this right here, I think it should be a very good, interesting match. Jade Cargill's big wrestling pay-per-view debut, WrestleMania. They fit her on the card. And of course, Bianca Belair and Naomi. Naomi's interest. I think they should intermix all three of those girls' interests, man, and just make like a cool interest, because Naomi's interest is fire with the psychedelic lights and all that and the glowing stuff. And then Jade Cargill with the muscle stuff. I think they could do a really cool interest for WrestleMania for these girls. This right here is like, okay, cool, fantastic. This is not exactly a bathroom match because this is one you want to see those girls, especially Jade Cargill. But the next match, Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee versus Santos Escobar and Dominic Mysterio. I would say this. I'm not really, it's like, okay, cool, Rey Mysterio versus his son, but they added Dragon Lee and Santos Escobar. Why? I don't know. It's kind of like a passing of the torch thing, but, that storyline has come and gone really and stuff, and I was kind of sour on it just on the fact that it's like Dominic needed more time, but he's blossomed out with Rhea Ripley, and Dominic is going to be one of the top stars eventually down the line. But this is a match where it's like when you see Dragon Lee and Santos Escobar in the ring, there's high spots and all that. But yeah, go ahead, run to the bathroom.
Yeah, so that's all right. So we know the Shadow's bathroom break.
Yeah.
Bathroom break. Okay.
That is
Go
pretty
ahead.
much it.
All
That's
right.
pretty much it. Either that or the big tag match because there's so many teams in this match and stuff
Yeah.
where it's like
Yeah.
there's going to be some sleeper moments there.
But
Uh,
getting on to what you said, I will give you credit on this. Is I remember you've been talking our truth for the longest, and he was the most entertaining part of the Royal Rumble.
yeah,
It's like he has just been sparking, like you said, his sales in apparel has really jumped up, but he's just a very charismatic guy, and I love him. And the same thing with Cargill. They were the two biggest reasons why I thought the Wrestle or Royal Rumble was such a great show because you just wasn't expecting that kind of stuff.
yeah,
So I'm looking forward to I'd like to see the Miz and our Truth because our Truth he's been in it for a long time. I think he does need this one accolade. They could just give him a bone for this one, brother.
absolutely. And then they've held the tag titles before, but
Yeah.
it's this is special. This is like this comeback that he's made, man. It
Yes.
was like this dude was just sitting at home making music videos and stuff. And if
Mhm.
anyone has ever seen his YouTube channel, his music is fire. I'll be honest. It's like I listened to some of R-Truth's music, man, and I was like, they need to upgrade his music, and I think that he
Mhm.
should be a music producer for some of these talents' interest music because his music is
Mhm.
great. But yeah, I think they definitely deserve the title match, and it's be interesting to see if they give it to him, man. The fans want it. I think the fans would want that more than any of the other tag teams in this match.
Now,
Um,
here's one thing that I've had this conversation back and forth with a bunch of people, and we've been all talking about this. Do you think two nights is really kind of diluting it? Do you think that it's like, because when it was one night, you used to sit on that one night, it was a bigger event, and now the same thing with like, some of the other pay-per-views, it's two nights. And so you're kind of, in my opinion, diluting the talent from just having one major event. I know you can't have everyone on, but I remember they used to do the pre-wrestling matches that used to just go directly on the internet or over on early parts of certain cable networks.
yeah.
So are you a fan of the two-night format?
Well, when they first started it, I felt like it was too much
Okay.
because there weren't that many marquee stars in the WWE. I think in the last say three years, they have built so many stars. They have built like that you want to see them, and I felt like yeah, WrestleMania. It's kind of like Comic Con, you know.
Yeah.
Comic Con
Mhm.
outgrew San Diego years ago,
Yes,
but they
sir.
won't leave San Diego. You know, so WrestleMania kind of outgrew its one night, and you had to put two nights on because you had so many superstars on the roster that were popular that you had to just spread it out. And honestly, last year, fantastic, man. Both nights,
Mhm.
fantastic. This year, oh man, we're about to get into the
Yeah.
second night card, and it's look, first night is tremendous. And
Yes, it
like if
is.
you walked away from that, you say, "Oh man, that was a great pay-per-view." But like now, look, let's go to card two,
Let's go to night two, brother.
Sunday night. I mean, like you got the undisputed Universal Champion Roman Reigns. Like, wait, I'm
Hmm.
gonna go. I'm gonna go backwards and work my way up because
Okay. Okay.
here we go. Look,
Let's do
you
this.
got Bobby Lashley, and the Street Profits, which is Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, versus the Final Testament, Karrion Cross and the Authors of Pain. Um, I'll say right off the bat, that is your bathroom
I
match.
thought so. I
Yeah,
thought that was
one
going to
hundred
be.
percent. Because and look, this is just a God's honest truth and stuff, and just looking at the styles of wrestling. Now, Bobby Lashley, the Street Profits, fantastic wrestlers, great
Hmm.
talents, but it also comes down to who you're wrestling. Karrion Cross, to me personally, he's got the size. He's 6'6", 6'7", 6'6", 300 some pounds, and he is a stiff. And what I mean by stiff is that the guy has no mobility to him.
Hmm. Hmm.
He moves like a robot. His moves look like a robot. He looks like he's just like, and he has no cadence to anything that he does. So he looks really stiff in the ring. I don't want to say green because green is somebody that doesn't know exactly what they're doing. He knows what he's doing, but he just can't perform. He doesn't have that it thing. He can talk. He's good on
Hmm.
the mic, but when he gets in the ring, it's like one of those things. He's like a Goldberg, where it's like they
Yeah.
rejected Goldberg. He had short matches and stuff, and then they moved on. Now, the Office of Pain, this Akam and Razar, those other guys, they're 6'6", 300 pounds, 6'7", 300 pounds. But there's a reason why they were taken off the roster for a while, along with Karrion Kross. They're all three of those guys. They pair them together to see what would happen, but they're stiff wrestlers. They're just like robots, and I'm not really impressed with their in-ring performing. Now, of course, Dawkins and here's the thing, and I think that this is one of the things where most of the guys, this is where you discover these things is that when you got Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins in the ring, let them call the match. Let them run the match. And what I mean by that is sell it. The biggest problem with Karrion Kross is that you get in and you do some punches, you do it, whatever and stuff. He doesn't sell. He doesn't put any time into selling. And I think that that's where you're going to see people get bored real fast with this match, because he will not sell and then put you in a headlock and a rest move, and then you're just like boring. So honestly, I'll spend too much time on that match. And Bobby Lashley, he's just a powerhouse. He can manhandle all of those guys. This guy was a collegiate wrestler. So honestly, when Lashley gets into the ring, that's why he's cheered and chanted, because he can manhandle all three of those guys. And that's what he's probably going to have to do in order to get spots over in that particular match and stuff. So still, it's a bathroom break. Now, the next match that I think, which also brings to the dreams of having a second night, LA Knight versus AJ Styles.
Yeah, wow.
Oh my goodness. Like these guys are at the pinnacle of their careers. AJ Styles has done more, but LA Knight, I've worked shows, or I've worked on shows that LA Knight was on back in California. And he's a talent. He's a workhorse. This guy can go. This guy has had it for a long time, and no one has given him a chance until now, which is sad to say, but it's good to see. And I think that these are two guys that are going to say, let's put it all on the line. Let's just leave it all in the ring. They're going to go for it. And I think that this is going to be one of the stiffest matches and one of the most fantastic matches to see on the second night. So that's going to be a really, really good match. And then you got the United States title triple threat match with Logan Paul, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens. That match in itself is Logan Paul and Kevin Owens doing a very big spot. But the problem, well, I don't want to say problem, but the thing that's dangerous and scary is Randy Orton does not like to be upped. So you can easily see Randy saying, no, we need to do that. So Logan Paul, who does some death-defying stuff, and I'm very impressed. Look, I don't like the guy. I don't like the YouTube channel or nothing. But like when he came to WWE, I was like, okay, here goes another celebrity guy wannabe, and he is good. He has it. He learned wrestling. He caught on quick, and bam, this guy is going. That's why the U.S. title is on around him, and he's carrying it. But I'm telling you right now, expect to see a big spot, and it may involve all three. What that will be, I don't know. And that's why I was saying about the Usos. It's like they're going to probably do some crazy stuff, but expect Logan Paul and it. Now, the only person that I wish may have been this a four-way is Ricochet. Oh my goodness. Like Ricochet and Logan Paul, that double clothesline, the cross ring clothesline was the most epic thing I've ever seen. So since RVD's Van Terminator, like not since that, but this should be a really good match in itself. And now you go to WWE's Women's Championship for Io Sky versus Bayley. This is Bayley's moment. Bayley's paid her dues. She's going to be a Hall of Famer as well. I think that this is an opportunity because she's turned face. She can go back to the Bayley with the hands up thing and have interest and stuff. Everybody loved that. And Bayley sold a lot of merchandise for kids because it was those little air balloons and whatever stuff. So I think our interest should be really spectacular. And I think that they're going to really tear it down. Io Sky is a great wrestler. There's a reason why she has the title. And this should be a good match, a very good match. Now, the only question is which women's title match is going to be better? Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch or Io Sky and Bayley? Honestly, That's a hard one to call.
I
That's a
think
hard one.
night one, man. I
Yeah,
think night one. I think
yeah,
it's gonna be. If there's an expectation, in fact, maybe they should have been on night two.
yeah.
Because
You know, you had to split them, but um, yeah, expectation was, yeah. I was kind of, I was thinking that the Becky Lynch match would
Mhm.
be on night two as well,
Right. Mhm.
but it is what it is. You know, you got to give a bigger marquee match on the first
Mhm.
night. So I kind of see why they did that. Rhea Ripley, she sells stuff out. So I can see why they did that on the first night. And then you get to the world title.
Yep.
Now the world title, world championship. I will say this. I think that they made a big error when they brought this title. When they handed Roman Reigns a new title and called it the Undisputed Universal Champion, WWE Universal Championship. That was great, fantastic. But when you decided to have a World Championship on Raw, they had the perfect opportunity to bring back the legacy, the lineage of the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, the
Mhm.
WCW World Heavyweight Championship. That's supposed to be what that world championship is and means. That's what it was when they first unified it. But I think that they made an error when they just called it a new world championship.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then they tried to dabble on to the legacy thing and stuff. They should have did that at the very beginning and not just, oh, we're going to present a belt so we can sell more merchandise.
Mhm.
But either here or there, it is what it is. Seth Rollins has been doing a good job of just being a great champion. Him and Drew McIntyre, I was kind of torn. I was torn for a while about the Seth Rollins match, and
Mhm.
I was like, yeah, Seth needs to go ahead and keep the title. But looking at Drew McIntyre in these last 6 months,
Mhm.
I've just been so impressed. He just re-signed with WWE. This guy has been on a roll. And I love that he's doing the I'm keeping it real thing. The shoot he did on CM Punk last week was fantastic. His t-shirts about how he saved WrestleMania by getting rid of
Mhm.
CM Punk was fantastic. Why? I know the Tech Master is a big CM Punk fan, but
Yes. Yes.
I am not. I always thought that after he left WWE, this guy just ran his mouth. And yeah, you're a great talker. Maybe someday you'll be like as good as Paul Heyman and you can be a manager or something. But in the ring, he's a good wrestler. But to me, it comes down to this. The guy's like 6'2", 6'3". He weighs like 210 pounds. And his finisher, where he grabs a guy, puts him on his shoulder, and then lifts him over his shoulder and does the knee shot.
Mhm.
That's impressive. But when you are 6'2", 210 pounds, lifting someone that is 6'5", like a Drew McIntyre, and 300 pounds of muscle, your knees go out. And he's injured his knees before.
Sure.
And I just felt like there should have been a point where CM Punk changed his finisher a long time ago, but he never did. And I felt like that was a niche on a ding on his mental
Mhm.
capacity of
Mhm.
understanding the fact, because like guys get in the ring and they know what they can and can't do or should or shouldn't do, and there should be adjustments made throughout the ages. But when it just comes down to like Drew McIntyre, his shoot, and honestly, I think he handed CM Punk his ass last week on the mic. He was fantastic. He did not flinch, and CM Punk kept catering back to the crowd to try to get crowd chants
Yeah.
to
Yeah. I
shut
was just
down
Mhm.
what Drew McIntyre did. But Drew McIntyre had a comeback every time. Seth Rollins chimed in as well. So honestly, I think that they made CM Punk look very weak this past week. Now, yeah,
Mhm.
when he comes back, it's cool, fantastic, and all of that stuff. But honestly, your marquee match down the line or towards SummerSlam or whenever CM Punk does return is
Mhm.
Drew McIntyre. You built it up. So why not have Drew win the title,
Okay.
keep the title, and then
Mhm.
face CM Punk? And then, honestly, I don't think CM Punk deserves to be a champion. I think he should work his way back up, but I think that he is a small window. And I said
Yeah.
this before
Mhm.
anybody else said it. When he came back, I said one thing. I said, this dude will be injured before WrestleMania
Mhm.
because he's fragile. Look
I
what happened
remember.
to him in AEW. And it was like, it was a wrap. John Moxley was running the title. John Moxley had the title. John
Mhm.
Moxley was a great champion. CM Punk comes in. Oh, John Moxley, give up the title. He gave up the title. No problem. CM Punk gets injured. Jon Moxley had to get the title back because they had no champion. And I think that in the CM Punk, he's a specialty match. He's not a world champion. He can't carry the WWE. He can help sell out crowds, but like honestly, he is that specialty match. Build a great feud, have that whole shoot monologues and all that other kind of stuff, sell the matches, and just do that, bro. That's all he needs, honestly. But honestly, for this match in itself, I do think that Drew McIntyre should win the title. Seth Rollins deserves a break. He should get a break after WrestleMania, take some time off with his daughter, and his wife should lose. They all should just go on vacation for a couple of months and then come back, get ready for SummerSlam. Honestly, that's my own opinion. But yeah, and then we come to the biggest match of the night, the biggest match of the year, the biggest match of everything. And this has been like the biggest debate out of everything.
It has been. It has been.
Everywhere we talk, everywhere we look, there's just everybody's talking about just one match: Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes, the Universal Championship. And we saw it last year. We seen it again, just like in the NBA. It looks like Denver's going back to the finals. Just like when it was Golden State versus LeBron for 3 years in a row. People got sick of it. But this one, I don't think so. I think this is the year where it's like everyone's still aching for it, and here it is where I come back to the point of Dusty Rhodes.
Okay,
when he was a booker in NWA, and he did a title run against Ric Flair. Ric Flair was the heavyweight NWA champion, and Dusty Rhodes was chasing the title. And that was one of the marquee things about NWA days, whether it was Dusty booking or whoever else, the Crockett's or whoever else was booking. It was that the babyface chases the title. They get so close to winning the title, but don't win. And then you do that for months and months and months in and stuff. And then eventually it's the big payoff and they win the title. But they don't keep it for long. They lose it again, and then it's the chase all over again.
That's the chase.
That's been the motto of WCW, well, the NWA more so than WCW. Just like when Hogan did the title run, just like back in the WWF days when Hogan was champion. The reason why he holds the record right now is because, well, it was different then. It was like they put the belt on Hogan, no one could beat him. And that ran for a long time, and he was face. And so it was a different thing with the WWE versus the NWA. It was a chase. So I think in this instance, where now we've seen the year go by, Cody's going after the title again, and everyone wants him to win. I think that the biggest mistake they would ever make in WWE history is to have Cody win on Sunday, because Roman Reigns is this close to beating Hulk Hogan's record. Hulk Hogan's is held the longest reigning champion in modern era, because Bruno Sammartino held the WWF title for like 10, 14 years or something like that, which is a ridiculous title run. It was like he was champion. No one else could ever be champion. So like that don't count, honestly. But Hogan as champion does count because he did it for over 3 years. So I think if you look at it and you think about it, it's like this is the modern era. This is the time. This is where you're wiping the slate clean. This is where all that Vince McMahon stuff is getting brushed under the table, where it's like this is a new WWE. So we need new records. So just like any NBA title thing or any record broken and stuff like that, you got to move on. You're not going to hold this reign for a long time. LeBron James just broke a record and all that stuff. So I think that it's important for Roman Reigns to break Hulk Hogan's record. I think it's important that you don't just think about, oh, the fans want this, so we're going to give it to them. You do the Vince McMahon thing, and which is actually now a Triple H thing, and that is good for business for Roman to keep the title. And Roman said, he said, you want me to lose the title, but you're going to miss me when I'm gone.
That's true.
It's like you ain't had nothing like this in a long time. So you can go ahead and keep on riding on this train, or you can just go ahead and let it go. And I'll take a break.
But let me ask you something, though. Even then still, you don't think the biggest surprise of the night that would be, because I know the Tech Master will be killing us for not saying it. If Cody does win, you don't think that's going to be like a huge surprise? Because I think they're setting it up that Roman is going to win. I think he is going to break. all of Hogan's records, which he should break it. The records are there to be broken.
Yes.
But if Ye really wants to shock everyone, wouldn't they just drop that belt on Cody?
I think it's the expectation of the fans. And I think that that's the key thing to where everyone's expecting it to happen because this is the second time and it has to because this is WrestleMania. And that's where the fans' disappointment would come if Cody doesn't win. And the anger and that, as the Rock has said, Cody cryberries. But I think when you look at the bigger picture and the scope of everything, and I know it's like they're saying September, sometime in September, that Roman would have to hold the title to beat Hogan's record. He's beaten one record, the most main events in WrestleMania history. Hogan had 8 main events at WrestleMania. Roman Reigns will have had 9. So that's fantastic. Now you got to break the other one. The one that counts, the one that matters. And then I say it's good for business because, honestly, if you really think about it, which a lot of people overlook, Cody Rhodes started AEW. Cody Rhodes was the man in AEW. And Cody Rhodes started to be hated by the fans in AEW. Right before he left, they were booing him. They were sick and tired of Cody Rhodes always winning, always main eventing, and all these other things. So to be honest with you, as great as he is right now, and as much heat he has right now, and he's so over right now, thanks to The Rock, thanks to Roman, and thanks to a lot of elements of things. As much as he's over right now, I honestly think that Cody's at that spot in that moment, like John Cena was, like Roman Reigns was. He needs to turn heel. Cody needs to lose the title, be embarrassed, come back to Raw that next month, that Monday or a week later, and say, I lost the match because of you fans. Y'all cheered me on, you hyped me up, and you did all these things, made my head so big, I couldn't focus. That's why I lost. Blame it on the fans. And then once he's done that, the fans will boo him for a while. But Cody Rhodes will eventually get over, organically.
Okay.
And he will then have transcended from that face that you want to cheer, and because they're pushing him as a face, to being over just cuz. Randy Orton, he's that guy. Heel or face, everybody loves Randy Orton. I mean, Stone Cold, he transcended that. Brock Lesnar, look, when The Rock, people got sick of The Rock.
Yeah, they did.
It was The Rock versus Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar was the heel. And they started chanting and cheering for Brock Lesnar. And that was an anomaly at that time. And The Rock was like still trying to be face when it came down to like, look, man, the fans say you're not face anymore, bro. So you can't. And he started to do that middle ground thing. So I think that Cody Rhodes needs to be in that lane and let him organically return face. And whether he doesn't go full heel, he should just be like, I don't care anymore, and then start to build. Now, the last thing I will add to it is that I think that he needs a stable. There is a lot. Look, he was in Legacy and with Randy Orton and what's his name, DiBiase, and that was cool for a minute. But I think that Cody can also do things that he's been great in the back of the locker room for, is bring on these young wrestlers. I mean, he's 38. So, like, bring on, like, Brian Pillman's son. Bring on Steiner's son, Braun Breaker. Bring along these guys in a group with him and let that build, let that organically build into something really fantastic and stuff. I think that that's one of the key things that could really transition into something that's really magical. And then, down the line, he can beat Roman. Roman can be a face at that point. And then Roman will be taking on the heel Cody Rhodes. And then the heel Cody Rhodes can win the title.
So now, just because, again, we're going to wrap up the WrestleMania scenario, but let's just go right back. So you think that they should turn Cody into a heel. And so maybe by the time that Roman has that title in September, if they keep this whole thing, then that's when Cody needs to come in as the heel Cody. Beat Roman. Beat Roman, get the title, and now that elevates him up to a level that he hadn't been at.
Exactly. And then it's just you spend, let's see, what is this, April? You
Yep.
spend, he comes back, whether it's on Monday night. And honestly, I think it should be Monday Night Raw, and
Mm-hmm.
then he takes some time off, like take a couple of weeks off or whatever, come back to TV, and he's got a whole nother personality
Mm-hmm.
thing going on and stuff. And then he can go back to like the history stuff of like when he was Stardust and all this other kind of stuff, and just be like, I've done everything for you guys, and I don't have nothing else to give you, blah blah blah. And you can build a great storyline, and he can have some great feuds with a couple of other guys. And in the process, you got the build up towards the Rock. You got the
Mm-hmm.
Rock, where if say the Rock and Roman finally have their match, or they wait till next year, that's fine and dandy as well. You can do Cody versus the Rock, and then the question mark on being is like, do you not turn Cody at that point? Have the Rock interfere and cost him the match, and then after he faces the Rock, he turns heel, and then you build towards him
Mm-hmm.
and Roman. But there's a lot of things they could do with that. I think that is the definite right direction for them to take for Cody if he lose this coming Sunday, which I hope he does, because I want Roman Reigns to break Hogan's record. I really do. So, and a lot of fans do. So,
I think so. Yeah, I think everybody but the Ticketmaster.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Just like he wants CM Punk to be there. Well, do something. But honestly, I think CM Punk he's great and announcing, talking. So like, let's see how he does it in announcing. He loves the fanfare. He loves to
Mm-hmm.
be in our limelight, and I'm just sick of that dude. Because honestly, I think he's at when he went to UFC and got his brain scrambled. He's not the same CM Punk. And that's all I
Yeah.
got to say about that. But to stick on move from WrestleMania, I do
Okay.
want to highlight NXT stars, the next
Okay.
big stars, the breakout stars, the people that like caught my eye, and I feel like, oh my goodness. In NXT right now, there's Trick Williams, who is basically a clone of Booker T. The guy looks like him, he
Mm-hmm.
acts like him, he wrestles like him. I think they could do more with him and Booker T. I think if he makes it, and once he makes it to the main roster of Raw
Mm-hmm.
or SmackDown, I think there should be a time and a moment for him and Booker T to really be involved in some type of storyline, so people really accept him as the next version or a better version or a new version of Booker T. Um, One of the most smartest things that I thought that they did, or what's been done with this Trick Williams guy, is that song "Whoop That Trick." That song "Whoop That Trick." It
Mm-hmm.
goes back to that. What's that movie?
Hustle and flow.
The Hustle and Flow. Whoop
Hustle and
that
flow.
trick, and it's over. And look, when I saw it, I was like, "Wow, that's
Wow.
crazy." The whole
Yeah.
audience. So I'm just imagining when it makes to the main roster, and the entire audience is like chanting that. So I think that he has a lot of potential to be a big star. He still needs some growing, but I see a lot of good things in him. Another guy I'll mention is this Briggs guy. Briggs guy, oh wow, he's like 6'7". This guy is potential. Right now, JBL is working with him in the NXT,
Mm-hmm.
and I see a lot of JBL in him, and I think that they're onto something with that guy, and he could be something special. And then the last one, this is my
Mm-hmm.
highlight for the entire year of
Okay.
like, this is the breakout star of wrestling. Like whatever wrestling awards there are, the
Mm-hmm.
breakout star is Omos. Omos is a guy from Nigeria. He's like 6'7", 6'8". He's 300 something pounds. And this guy, and the chants they do for him right now are Wakanda chants. It's crazy. This guy came from like the NFL or something like that. He's
Mm-hmm.
been in the wrestling business for like 6 months now. He's already on NXT. He looks like he's been wrestling for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
He's the Northern whatever champion right now, and he looks fantastic. I would say that Omos in I say less than a year will be on the main roster if he keeps doing what he's doing. He's like a Brock Lesnar. He is like Bobby Lashley. Put those two together, they have a baby. It's Omos. That's what I see. So my expectations are really high on that guy, and I'm excited to see what happens with him. Um,
Now, I know as we were looking, because we were always going through time, and that's my main job is through time. You know what? I thought we were gonna knock this all out in one part, but we're gonna have the part two because I know we wanted to get into, and I know you had a lot to say about AEW. So I think that we just need to just give it its own time and everything because look, one thing about the shoe shots that we've been talking about is we're gonna pop this up a little bit more, but let's save the fans a little bit more. So I got a couple of
Okay.
questions that we're gonna
Okay.
roll on. We're gonna save the next one's gonna be AEW and everything the Shadow thinks that could actually help that promotion. And I know you got a lot of thoughts on that. But there's a couple of key things. We put out some emails to certain people that used to listen to the show, and there's a couple of key questions. One was, what was one of the worst injuries that you sustained on the indie circuit?
I got I had my tailbone and I got a pinched nerve in my back.
Wow.
And then my right knee popped.
Mhm.
I trained with two big guys, a guy named Larry Piccone, the bounty hunter, and he was about 6'5", 300 some pounds. Excuse my French, but steroid, muscle bound,
Yeah.
freaking gorilla. But a cool guy. Tried body slamming him and just raw, and that didn't go out well. My knee popped. Oh, so my knee clicks. That's one.
Mhm.
We did with Larry as well. We did a pay-per-view called Fight Zone. It was probably one of the bigger things I've ever done. Bigger
Okay.
payday too. Probably the biggest payday I ever,
Yeah.
ever had.
Yeah, you
'Cause
don't forget those.
that was a Hollywood thing. That was a Hollywood thing. So me and Larry came in, and Mondo used to set us up to do like stuff like
Mhm.
TV shows, all kinds of stuff. Hard Times on Planet Earth.
You were exiled to the primitive planet Earth, there to dwell in human form, until you learn to restrain your hostility. This control unit will monitor.
Hostility? Not good.
The sentence is passed.
Which is a TV show probably no one's ever heard of
Okay.
because they only did one season, but they had a wrestling episode, and it was like
Oh.
me, Larry, Tiny Lister,
Okay.
and other guys and stuff. And it was this alien guy on Earth, and he wanted to learn how to wrestle, so we did the whole thing. Anyway, we did Fight Zone. Fight Zone was a pay-per-view, like a Hollywood fight thing, so it wasn't UFC, but it was UFC Hollywood.
Okay.
But they had like people come in and they do stunts. They had all these karate guys. Everybody was doing karate and stuff. And it was like a 12-hour shoot. And then it was me and Larry. And it was like, okay, you guys are gonna do your fight and blah blah blah. It was just a big circle, circle, not really matted and stuff. So I was like, bro, we're not doing this karate stuff. And at the time, I was a karate wrestler. So I used to be my original wrestling name that Mondo came up with was the Black Ninja. And I was like, no, thank you. No, thank you. I'm good. And then
Oh, wait
eventually,
a minute. Hold on. We can't go. You didn't think that would work and everything else? Did you come in like full ninja with like a katana sword? You didn't think that was gonna work?
I actually did. That was my first wrestling costume. Was I used to go to Hollywood, the Hollywood shop with the costume store. I got me a whole ninja thing. I had the whole ninja thing.
Yeah.
Because you're like, you're the Black Ninja. Because I was doing karate stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of moves that I did, the wrestler stole from like 89 to like 93. A lot of moves I created. And like Jericho, who jumps on the second rope and bounces back and does the elbow. I was doing that in indie shows. And I'm going to tell you how I say that a lot of guys stole my moves.
Okay.
I worked with Louis Piccoli, Bill and Jesse, the Empire Wrestling, EWF. They used to do shows for WWF. And when they come to California, all the shows, they bring in the jobbers, local jobbers, which is basically wrestlers, independent wrestlers come in. They get a chance to wrestle guys on TV. I was not one of them because I said I don't want to just be a jobber or stuff. I want to be more than just a jobber. But like Louis, Ricky Ataki, Stefan DeLeon, all those guys did it. So we would work, and when we would work shows and stuff, we would have moves and stuff. So I know 100% one move, which was my finisher. And
Okay.
I went over with Ricky Ataki and Stephen DeLeon. I said, look, I got this great move. It's a suplex, but it's not a suplex. It's going to be like it's a pile driver suplex. He's like, what are you talking about? You get a guy, rank him up, and you take him up with a suplex. But instead of going all the way back, you drop them on their head. But it's like there's a way you got to do it. And I showed them how to do it and everything. And it was like, that was a brain buster. And they did a house show. One of the guys, I think it was Louis, worked with Coco Beware and a couple of these guys. Coco Beware then all of a sudden came up with this finisher called the Brain Buster, and which was boom. And I was like, wow, dude just stole.
Was that pre-Coco with the bird, or was it after the bird?
No, that was pre. I think that was pre-Coco. That was pre-Coco with the bird. That was his finisher. He did that.
He stole it. Okay.
He stole that move, and now the other move was the mid rope, where you run to the rope, and then you bounce off the second rope. Both feet land on the second rope. You spring backwards with an elbow. Because I was doing the karate stuff, I would do that, spring back, and do my elbow move. And then from the elbow move, I was doing the super kick. Way back before Shawn Michaels super kick and everything. One of the reasons why I never liked Shawn Michaels. I was doing super kicks. I was doing corner kicks. They call them different names now. The hula, that what's his name? Sami Zayn's finisher. I was doing that all back in the day and stuff. But a lot of the guys took that and they did these moves. They shared the moves with the wrestlers and they said, "Oh, I'm gonna steal that" and stuff. So yeah, that was that, and that was in. But I don't want to lose track. How I got hurt was Larry and I went and did this Hollywood thing. We were going to do it. Everybody was doing karate, and I said, "Listen, I'm not doing the karate. Let's do some wrestling spots." We worked out some wrestling spots and everything, and so I did. We locked up. He pushed me off. He grabbed me. He slammed me, and then I got back up, and then I gave him my elbow or whatever, and then I guess he missed that moment or something, and I did a super kick. And I landed right here on the side of his head, and it scraped him right here, and he was bleeding. Yeah. And I was like, "Ooh," because they were going like cut, and then they were like put blood on you and stuff. But they're like cut, and then Larry was like, "Bro," and he looked. Now, man, you steroids, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Like wired up, and he was hot. And so they went and they put blood over his blood to make it like worse and stuff.
Yeah.
They okay, go. And then we went back into the match. Larry grabbed me.
Yeah.
He picked me up and he slammed me. Then he picked me up and he threw one of them like a JBL clothesline on me. I was like, I was choking and stuff. But he had slammed me a couple of times so bad, man, and jacked my back up and stuff. So that, and then a couple of other matches and stuff like that. And I landed on my tailbone. I got like a pinched nerve in my back today, man. So yeah, dude, wrestling, wrestling's fake, business, this and that. And man, it's brutal.
No, there's a lot of stuff into it, man. And I think that's what people don't understand about the people that do the work is that there has to be a love involved. It's not always about the big names and like, the fame and all the other situations. It's got to be that you have to love something to want to put yourself through that much pain, especially the time on the road, away from your family and everything else. So now as we're in this stage now, and I talk to you, I still see that love, and that's the thing that you can't break, man. That's the beautiful part, is that you can see it transcend everything you do. Is the love of what's going on, the love of watching it. You still haven't lost that. So that's the great thing about it, man.
Yeah, and the other thing about wrestling is that it's a brotherhood. It's the camaraderie. It's like you may have a couple of guys that like got beat forever, but like when we were done, me and Larry, we were like, it was like, "Bro, you got me hard there." I said, "Well, bro, you just fucked me up." And it's like, "Let's go get something to eat." Okay, let's go. So it's always been like that. A friendship that lasts forever. Friendship that goes a long way and stuff, and yeah, you gotta love it to do it and stuff, because some guys try it and then say, "Oh, this ain't for me." I did it for like 9 years and stuff, independent circuits, running all over the place. We've done some cool shows, we've done some empty shows. You got to put on a show when there's nobody there. I've wrestled in front of 10 people, I've wrestled in front of hundreds of people, and I've wrestled and I did that thing. It was like a couple of thousand or whatever. But you know, it's cool, but you gotta love it in order to do it. You know, 100%.
All right. Well, like I said again, man, you know, I was wondering about the first angle shoe shot that we're doing for the Shadow Nose Network, and it seems like we're gonna have to extend this a little further, man, because I'm looking forward to. I know we just barely got to some questions tonight, but also I'm looking forward to your thoughts on AEW, man, because it's been an experience for me, man. I always learn something every time we do this, and you know, it's always great for that. So, like, you know, it's your show, Shadow. You can end it, brother.
Hey, well, I'll just say this. I'm looking forward to this journey, like where we're going from here, what we're going to do, and it's going to be some exciting things. We're gonna have some cool guests too. I got some friends. I got some wrestling
I
friends
know you
that
do.
I think will come on board and you know, grace us with their presence. So I think that's gonna be cool. We're gonna talk to and bring on some independent guys and stuff, some cool special guests as well and stuff. And then sometimes we're just gonna just do this thing and just do it raw and stuff. Share some thoughts and some stories with the fans and stuff. I got some cool stories as well. We could talk about. A great story about Louis Spicoli, rest in peace. We got some great stories with Diamond Dallas Page, RVD. We got some cool stories. So it's going to be fun. But just overall, I'm excited about WrestleMania. I'm excited to see this show. I'm excited to just experience it live. So that's going to be really cool to see and stuff. And we're going to give recaps on what happened and what comes next, or what we feel like should come next and stuff. So
and of course we're going to have some of, you know, also look forward to the Tech Masters wrap ups.
Oh yeah.
I know there's probably going to be a special WrestleMania Top Wrestling thing that's going to be done too. So you know, we're infusing wrestling. If we haven't said it, we're going to say it now. Please like, subscribe, and throw your comments down. If you have a question for Shadow, throw it in the comments. We'll make sure that he gets it to them. You want to give people your Instagram so they can also follow you over there, brother?
Oh, sure, absolutely. And y'all can all check me out at Shadowe, that's SHADOWE 00 on Instagram. Shadowe 00 on Instagram. And we'll talk about the name Shadow. We'll tell that story as well.
Exactly, because now I'm still trying to get the Black Ninja out of my mind, man.
Yeah, me too, man. Still, me too.
All right, man. Well, like I said again, man, this is a wrap for Shoe Shot 1. There will be Shoe Shot 2 and everything. I'm looking forward to it next, man. Thank you for your time, Shadow.
Yeah, man. Hey, guys, tune in if you got the
All right now.
All right, bro.